I am so happy and so grateful to report that I have finally hit the 1,000 subscriber milestone. So excited about that. And before I get to the important part of the video, which is telling you about the UK subscriber giveaway I'm doing to celebrate this milestone, I wanted to take a minute and tell you a little bit about my YouTube journey, because I think most people haven't heard about this. It began almost exactly a year ago, at the beginning of December 2019. I didn't really watch YouTube that much. I wasn't really that big of a YouTube consumer. I didn't subscribe to a lot of channels, but Ian and I were researching our upcoming trip to Britain, and we started watching some travel videos. And I found two travel channels that I really liked. One of them is called Flying the Nest, and it's a young couple from Australia who spent years traveling the globe nonstop and recording vlogs about their trips. And they're just really fun people to watch, and their videos were really interesting. So we were watching lots of those. The other channel is called Suitcase Monkey, and that is a chap who lives in London, and his videos are really like movies. They have this wonderful cinematic quality to them, even though they're shot on an iPhone, which I really respected and admired and found a lot of inspiration from. So he makes videos about Britain as well as all the other places in the world that he and his wife travel. So we were watching a lot of these videos, and one night I just had this crazy thought, maybe I should start a YouTube channel. I mean, heaven knows I can talk about Britain all day long. I find it infinitely interesting. And I love making friends with people around the world. And so maybe I could do a channel that would be a little bit different than the channels that are already on YouTube. So because I'm a marketer, I thought about this strategically. How could I be different than the other travel channels out there? Is there a space for me on YouTube to do a kind of different channel? So that's what I set out to do. I'm an American who has been to Britain more than 20 times. So I can talk about being an American traveling to visit Britain in a way that's different than a British person can. Similarly, me talking about going to Britain is from a different viewpoint than a person who's there for the first time. Also, I'd like to point out the obvious. I'm an old lady. So there are all these channels with 20-something beautiful young people who are digital nomads, full-time travelers. Vlogging is their full-time job, recording their travels around the world or in specific countries. And that's not me. I'm a lot older, and for good and for bad, I have a different perspective when it comes to talking about travel, culture, language, any of those things. But I got to thinking, there are a lot of people who are empty nesters, retirees, pensioners, and they like to travel, and they might even have the time to watch some videos and learn about traveling. So maybe there are some people out there who want to hear someone who's more of a peer talk about travel, culture, food, language, people, and hear my observations as someone who's more their peer rather than someone 30 years younger than them. I wasn't sure if it was a good idea, but I thought, may as well try. It'll be a fun experiment, because I did know that I travel differently as a 26-year-old than I do as a 56-year-old. So I thought maybe I'll have an interesting perspective to bring to that. And one last thing, our American friends ask us about traveling to and living in Britain all the time. And so I just thought, well, rather than answering the same questions over and over again about England, why not do a video about it? And in fact, we started traveling to Britain with some friends. In 2018, we went with a couple on a wonderful holiday in the summer. And in 2019, we went with a different couple and had a fantastic trip around England. And I found when I was on those trips, I was kind of doing a lot of explaining and talking about English vocabulary, how to pronounce place names, the different words for food. And I thought, these would be good videos to do too. So that if I travel with friends, I can just say, hey, watch those videos before we go to Britain together. And then, needless to say, some surprising things happened. The easy part for me, as someone who spent 30 years working as a marketer, was kind of the marketing strategy stuff. Figuring out my brand, my consumer target, and my strategy for what my channel was about. But the hard part was the technical part of it. I had no idea how to start a YouTube channel. I had no idea how to film videos, and I really had no idea how to edit videos and even what editing software to use. I had all that stuff to figure out. I had never created a website. I had to figure that out too, and figure out how to do a Facebook page and an Instagram page for this new business. So I had a million technical things to figure out. That was a really big challenge. And then of course, the most surprising thing was around the corner. I started filming videos in really January of 2020, not knowing that we were about to have a global pandemic. And that of course affected everything, because my idea of travel advice videos for Americans took on a different context when everyone was canceling all of their trips to Britain for the summer. And there wasn't the typical interest in planning and talking about Britain among American travelers. So it was in this period of time that I took a step back and did something a little different and created my Britain Love Stories series. So that was a 10-part series where I just talked about all the things I loved about Great Britain, because that was a helpful way to share with Americans who were getting ready to one day, one year, eventually travel to Britain, to think through what they might want to do when they're there. Because that's one of the most commonly asked questions is, oh, I'm going to England, or I'm going to London. Where should I go? What should I do? And the answer is, of course, well, it depends. I mean, it depends on what your interests are and what you want to do and how much time you have. So I figured if I did this volume of videos, it would be a way for Americans to explore different parts of Britain and think about things they might want to do. And then it also would be a way for anyone who was interested in knowing why this crazy old lady started a YouTube channel, why I like Britain so much. So that is my Britain Love Stories series. And if you haven't seen any of those videos, I invite you to check it out. Another thing that ended up being surprisingly difficult was getting those 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I naively thought, oh, I've got 1,200 Facebook friends. How hard can it be to get 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel? I just say, hey, I have a YouTube channel. Go over, check it out, subscribe. Yeah, that's not how it works. So I learned a hard lesson that just because someone might be my friend in real life and might be my Facebook friend, they might not be that interested in YouTube. They might not be that interested in Britain, and they might not be that interested in watching videos about Britain, or videos of me talking for that matter. So getting every one of those subscribers has been a lot of work. However, along the way, I met some fantastic people, and I started getting excited as people did watch my channel, and I got new subscribers, and I started getting these comments from people that I could respond to and have conversations. It kind of built momentum and got more and more interesting for me. And one of the surprising things was that I ended up getting a lot of British subscribers, which was totally surprising to me, because I'm thinking, why are people in Britain gonna wanna hear me talk about Britain? Well, it ended up being a fantastic place to have conversations. So I might have a language video and talk about British food words, and then British people comment and they add so much flavor and context and additional information, as well as some pretty hilarious banter to all the nonsense I say. And the perfect example of that is my Marmite video. If you haven't read the comment section of my Marmite versus Vegemite video, that is hilarious, and it just is a perfect example of the fantastic subscribers that we have here in the Magenta Otter tribe and all the funny and interesting things that they say. So 11 months and over 50 videos later, I finally reached that 1,000 subscriber milestone. And I just have to say a huge thank you to every one of you who have subscribed. You don't know how much that means to me. And you also might be surprised to know how important those comments are to me and how much I enjoy reading them. I need you to know that you are individual people and friends to me, not just this nameless, faceless mass of subscriber humanity. And having those conversations that we have in the comment sections is the highlight of having a YouTube channel for me. You can ask Ian. The day that I release a video and I sit there and watch those comments roll in, I read them with delight. And I'm always telling him, what person A or B or C said. We'll sit there at the dinner table and talk about specific subscribers, and I'll say, I haven't heard from this person yet. I hope they're okay. So I want you to know that and how much I enjoy the conversations that we have within the Magenta Otter tribe. When I developed this nifty logo back in January with the 2 cute brown otters holding the 2 cute magenta suitcases, I said to Ian, I need to get a magenta suitcase. And he said, you can do that when you reach 1,000 subscribers, because Ian's really frugal and a minimalist. So he was trying to delay that suitcase acquisition as long as possible. And again, remember, I thought it was gonna be easy to get 1,000 subscribers. So I'm like, okay, well, now we're finally here. And so guess who loves otters and just ordered herself a magenta suitcase? This girl. And that is what I would like to do as a thank you to my British subscribers and just give away 1 magenta suitcase to 1 lucky winner. So that's gonna be the giveaway. 1 magenta suitcase will be given away to someone selected at random from the entries. So before we talk about the rules and how to enter, let me respond to Ian's concern, which is that guys don't want a magenta suitcase. That's what he said to me. Now, I think that's a rather traditional point of view, and I think there are plenty of dudes who would be willing to have a magenta suitcase because magenta is a pretty cool color. But in case you are a bloke who doesn't want a magenta suitcase, I would like to remind you that this is the season of giving. And I think probably every one of you subscribers has a close friend or loved one who would really like a magenta suitcase. So I still think you should enter the giveaway in hopes of winning a magenta suitcase for someone who will appreciate it. So here is an overview of the details of how this giveaway is gonna work. The entry period starts now and ends this Friday, the 20th of November at 4 p.m. Central Time in the US for me and 10 p.m. UK time. To be eligible for this giveaway, you just need to be a resident of the UK or Ireland. And the way you enter is to make sure you're subscribed to the channel, you like this video, click the like button, and comment below saying, I live in the UK, or I live in Ireland, or the specific country you live in. I live in England, I live in Wales. Then I will know you're entered for the giveaway, and I will put your name in that random drawing that I will be conducting after 10 p.m. UK time on Friday, the 20th of November. Good luck to all of you. Thanks for watching this video. Most importantly, thank you for your support of my channel, and do something good in the world today.